Thank you and good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughan for Sam Sports Report. Today's date is Tuesday, February 10th, 2025. The biggest story in Kansas City is not the Super Bowl. It is this season of Arizona undefeated season is over. And it was in front of the way was the Kansas Jayhawks. The Arizona Wildcats were undefeated in the Big 12, and they were on their way to The Arizona Wildcats were off to the best start in Big 12 men's history, losing to Kansas. The unbeaten streak was over at 23. And to add factor to the game, the Arizona Wildcats were winning by 12 with at most. The Jayhawks took the lead at 9:32 and never led again was the Arizona Wildcats. Darren Peterson was not in the game. He averages the most points for the Jayhawks when he plays, which is 21 points. But he has been so inconsistent in playing this season. And I believe the team will need him to win a national championship. But the team had looked the best it may have looked all year without Darren Peterson. And according to Myron Metcalf, and it was a great day by the Kansas Jayhawks, and especially Flory Badunga, who scored 23 and 10 rebounds and earned a double-double. Malvin Council also scored 23. Bryson Tyler scored. He averaged about 9. He doubled that with 18. In the loss, Bryson Bunson scored 25 points. 82-78 was the final. The Super Bowl was a boring game, and it was the worst Super Bowl since 2019 as far as points go for each team. That was the last time the New England Patriots played the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams winning in that game by 2019, winning 13-3. Both teams' defenses were great in the game, but it was still a bad Super Bowl, and the Seattle Seahawks defense was amazing, sacking the quarterback 6 times. That performance tied the most sacks in Super Bowl historical. One of the quarterbacks in the game was Drake May, was hurried and did not play well, even though he had one of the best seasons in the NFL, being second in MVP voting. He threw 2 interceptions. The Seahawks were not converting their drives into touchdowns, but it wasn't to matter, as Jason Myers scored 5 field goals, breaking a Super Bowl record, and they got all the kicks. Final score was Seattle Seahawks 29, Patriots 13. Seattle Seahawks captured their second Super Bowl in their history. The Seahawks dominated behind a defensive masterpiece, kept the Patriots scoreless. Key highlights: defense dominated. Seattle's defense was relentless in scoring. Patriots May multiple times and creating pressure all night. Defensive sacks, a pick 6 by Eunice Nosu put the game out of reach late. Offensive performances: Kenneth Walker was named the Super Bowl MVP in yardage and controlling the game. Seahawks Sam Darnold managed to be game efficiency through the team lone offensive touchdown to A.J. Barner. Jason Myers was again record stealing for field goals. New England's offense struggled much of the game, breaking through with late touchdowns but never gaining momentum. Halftime entertainment was by Bad Bunny, one of the best of all time. This Super Bowl was a rematch of 2015 game, but this time Seattle prevailed. In the Super Bowl of 2026, the Seahawks had Kenneth Walker rushing for 135 yards and 27 carries, added 26 receiving yards and a totaling 161 yards from line of scrimmage. The Seahawks' 29-13 victory of the New England Patriots. New England's Drake May threw for nearly 300 yards with 2 touchdowns, but was constant pressure and sacked 6 times and threw 2 interceptions, and some of the worst throws I had ever seen. Ramon Stevenson contributed for the Patriots, but with rushing yards and rushing touchdowns provided but few offensive bright spots for the New England Patriots. Mark Holland was one of the New England more productive receivers in the game. Holland touchdown catch, summary, balanced attack, Seattle's elite defense and controlled the game from start to finish. Kenneth Walker's MVP performance and Jason Myers' record was pivotal to the game, and Seattle's defense also contributed, and that may have been the biggest factor. Dominated the game with 6 forcing multiple turnovers and scoreless through 3 quarters was the Patriots. Players like Derek Hall, Byron Murphy, Julian Love, and Devin Witherspoon were anchored this unit. The once time thought at worst quarterback in the league, Sam Darnold, the one-time Jet, considered the worst quarterback in the league at one time. To a Super Bowl quarterback. In his trip to Disney World, Sam Darnold was also the backup quarterback in San Francisco. Darnold was the number 3 overall pick, and he finally proved why he may have been that by the New York Jets, and was terrible with the Jets in his first 2 in growth. Early in my career, I was hard on myself. It was not always going to be perfect. It's about how you move on from the mistakes and contributing and continuing to be better. The team, yourself. But that one-time player was now a Super Bowl champion, and he has changed his career in so many ways, and I bet nobody expected 2 years ago that he would be a Super Bowl champion. And now Sam Darnold is a Super Bowl champion. And now we talk about Kenneth Walker winning the MVP. He controlled the clock in his consistent rushing in the Patriots' defense and Seattle's balanced attack, and contributed as one of the receiving threats and keeping the defense guessing. Best running backs I've ever seen in a long time in a Super Bowl, presenting it as not just a passing game. It also is important to run the ball, and Seattle did that in a big way, and so did Kenneth Walker. His ability to maintain then gain yardage to the MVP, what it means to Kenneth Walker, personal achievements. Walker said winning the Super Bowl and earning an MVP honors was a dream come true. I've worked my whole life for this moment to help my team with one of the biggest games of the year. It was surreal, and being named the MVP icing on the cake. But it was the win, and when it matters most. People overcoming adversity. He reflected on his early career and challenging and injuries, not preparation and trust in his teammates, made the victory even sweeter. Legacy. Walker expressed his pride in being part of a Seahawks history, saying the winning cements his name in franchise lore and motivates him to continue to improve. What announcers said about him is praising the dominance. Broadcasters consistently highlighted his physical and consistency. Walker controlled the tempo of his game from start to finish. Every time he touched the ball, the Patriots defense knew he was coming. This performance will be remembered as part of one of the all-time greatest in Super Bowl rushing efforts. MVP justification. Announcer said Walker earned MVP honors without scoring a touchdown, emphasizing that time of precision and yardage dominance can be just as valuable as scoring plays. In context, they also praised the Seahawks offensive lineman, noting how Walker vision and patience combined with their blocking big gains possible. Summary for Walker, it was a accumulation of years in work and growth, both physically and mentally. Announcers framed it as historical, disciplined performance that defined the game and highlighted that running back can carry a team in ways that don't always show up. This is Sam Vaughan for Sam Sports Report, reporting on the Super Bowl for 2026. This is Sam Vaughan for Sam Sports Report.